Welcome to the chapter Transportation. This slide presents the overview of the chapter. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to understand the importance of transportation of blood, know the relationship between pulse rate and heartbeat, describe the internal structure of the heart, explain the blood vessels and circulation, distinguishes arteries, veins and capillaries, illustrate the cardiac cycle, describe lymphatic system and evolution of transport system, explain single or double circulation, explain blood pressure, explain coagulation of blood, describe how materials transport within the plant, explain the mechanism by which the water travels through the plant, interpret transport of mineral salts and transport of manufactured food in plants. Before entering into the chapter, follow the instructions shown on the screen. Click each tab to know more. In lower classes, we learned that all living organisms require nutrients, gases, liquids, etc. for growth and maintenance of their body. But to maintain their body, the organisms must send these materials to various parts, whether they may be unicellular or multicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms like amoeba, the materials are transported by the process of diffusion, osmosis, etc. But in multicellular animals, this process of diffusion takes years because they contain trillions of cells in their body. So, in order to avoid this delay, a separate system is needed to carry the materials, called as circulatory system. Can you answer these questions? Generally, we eat solids, drink liquids, and breathe gases. Is it possible to transport all the three types of material through a single system? You might have observed that doctors hold a patient's wrist and looks at their watch for a minute when the patient comes for a checkup. Why? What is the doctor trying to find out from the watch and the wrist of the patient? Do you think that doctors are crazy in holding the wrist of the patient to count their heartbeat? Let us study how this system of circulation is carried out in human beings and plants. Here, let us perform an activity to count the heartbeat of a patient. Click each tab to know more. Doctors generally check the wrist to count the heartbeat of the patient. You can also find out the heartbeat by yourself. Let us do it. Keep your index and middle fingers on your wrist below the thumb as shown in the image. Observe the pulse for a minute. Next, stand up and jog for 1 minute standing at the same place and observe the pulse rate. You feel something is pushing your fingers rhythmically up and down. Now count the rhythm, also named as the pulse, at rest for a minute. Note the values in the given table. Next, note the values of the pulse after jogging for a minute. You will observe that the pulse rate varies in both the conditions. Similarly, take readings of two of your parents in the same manner and record in the table. From this experiment, it is understood that the pulse rate varies from person to person and from situation to situation. Now, let us observe the pulse rate by using matchstick stethoscope.